South Carolina always has a tough schedule. It's just what you sign up for. If you're South Carolina, you're going to play against the SEC East every year, and now you got Texas A&M, who is rolling in the West, plus Clemson in the non-conference every year, and they usually play a pretty good opponent. Not just Clemson, but they usually play another pretty good opponent in the non-conference. So the schedule is always brutal for South Carolina. Let's see what it looks like in 2021. Again, coming off of a 2-8 year last year. This is the schedule, and they actually don't have a big non-conference game outside of Clemson this year, so that's the good news. Let's look at the schedule outside of the division. So we know who they're going to play. They're going to play their division opponents that they play every year, but outside of the division, they will play Eastern Illinois in the non-conference. They'll play on the road at East Carolina. Interesting game there. Troy at home, and then Clemson in the rivalry. They will play them at home as well. Out of the West, they will play Texas A&M, who they play every year. On the road, that is a tough draw. And then Auburn. Auburn is a team that, it's kind of tough to figure out right now. I don't think South Carolina minds this too much. I think everyone in the West is going to be tough to beat this year, but it's better than LSU or Alabama, because I think those two teams are going to be very good this year. Ole Miss also, with their offense, you probably don't want to play them. So I think South Carolina isn't crazy about playing Auburn, but they beat them last year. I know that was maybe a little bit of a fluke. I mean, obviously this team finished 2-8, and Auburn finished, I think, third in the SEC West. But I think that will give them some confidence. They're playing at home, and they will believe that they have a chance to win that game. But again, Texas A&M on the road is going to be very tough. So we're going to go game by game now, starting with Eastern Illinois on September 4th. That is how they will open up the season. After that, it's East Carolina on the road on September 11th. So two games that they should be able to win. East Carolina on the road might not be an easy win, but I would definitely favor South Carolina in that matchup. Then it's Georgia on the road. That's how they will open up SEC play, thrown right into the fire. That's probably their toughest game of the year, outside of maybe Clemson, but because this one's on the road, that might actually be their toughest game of the year. So they'll get that one over with. That's good news if you're South Carolina. Then it's Kentucky on September 25th. That's going to be a tough game. Kentucky's going to be solid once again this year. Troy on October 2nd. Troy is not what they have been in the past, but it's still a pretty good group of 5 team. And then, again, not a game that you're just going to go in there and win by 40 and have your starters out by halftime. No, this will be a 4-quarter game probably. Tennessee is up next on October the 9th. Of course, Tennessee is a disaster right now. So South Carolina will have a very good opportunity to win that game. Vanderbilt on October 16th, another game that I think they can win. And then on the 23rd, it'll be Texas A&M on the road. Again, a very tough game. Maybe their 2 toughest games in the SEC, Georgia and Texas A&M, both on the road. So that is going to be difficult. You can maybe throw Florida in that argument as well, but they do get them at home. They'll also have a bye week between Texas A&M and Florida. So if they're going to pull off a big upset, this is probably where it would be. Coming off a bye week, the game's at home against Florida, who might be down a little bit this year. I think they will be down from where they were last year. Still going to be a really good team, though. If they can pull off a big upset, perhaps that's where it would come. But obviously that's going to be tough. Missouri on November 13th. They will play them on the road. Missouri is a team that is getting better. That'll be a tough matchup. And then Auburn on November 20th. Like I said, this is a team that they beat last year. But, if that game was played 10 times, Auburn probably would have won at least 7 or 8 times last year. And I still think Auburn's probably the better team this year. But definitely a shot for South Carolina in this game, especially when they play at home. And then Clemson on November 27th. They haven't beaten them in a long time. Clemson, of course, has become a powerhouse. And it seems like that it would be tough to win that game if you're South Carolina. So looking over the entire schedule, you've got Georgia, which is going to be very tough on the road. Texas A&M, very tough on the road. Clemson, 3 really, really tough games. Throw Florida in there as well. And this is a difficult schedule. It's not as difficult as some of the schedules that South Carolina has had in the past, but it's still a very challenging schedule. I mean, you don't play Alabama. That's the good news. You don't have a big non-conference game outside of Clemson. That's the good news. But again, when you're playing Georgia and Texas A&M on the road and going through all these other teams in the SEC, the schedule, once again, will be very tough for South Carolina in 2021.